Battlefield 1 is chaotic, brutal, and absolutely brilliant once you stop getting steamrolled every match. After way too many games and a lot of trial and error, I've picked up a few tricks that actually make a big difference. So here are 10 things I wish I knew when I started playing Battlefield 1. Let's get into it. Alright, let's kick off with something that's way too many people ignore, playing a support role. Look, I know it's tempting to always run assault and chase those juicy highlight clips, but Battlefield is a team game. It's not Call of Duty where you just go solo, get a nuke and call it a day. If your squad is made up of 4 guys with shotguns and dreams of going 30 and 0, then guess what? You're all gonna run out of ammo, bleed out in the dirt and start blaming the game. So here's the play. One teammate, just one, needs to be a guy with the bags, the medic with the heals or the support with the ammo. That one teammate who's actually thinking long term and not just sprinting into every gunfight like it's their last match. It's not the flashiest role, sure, but you're the reason your squad keeps momentum. You're the reason they are holding the line. And the crazy part? You still rack up points, heals, revive, resupplies, it's free XP. And when your whole squad's alive and fully stocked, that's when the real play happens. So yeah, don't be afraid to be that guy, because without him, you're basically just 4 lone wolves running around in a war zone with no snacks or band-aids. You ever rush into a compound thinking, it's just one guy in a shack, only to get clapped from 3 different angles? Yeah, that's because most compounds have more than one exit, and smart players know how to use them. So here's the play. Before you go full Leroy Jenkins, slow it down. Don't just sprint in like it's Call of Duty. Instead, surround the building with your squad. Cut off all the exit like you're closing a net, then push in together. One from the front, one from the side, maybe one watching the back door. That way, even if the enemy bails, they're running straight into your teammate's sight. It's not about who's the fastest, it's about who's the smartest. And flanking like this, that's how squad wins fights and take control. Heavy bombers in Battlefield 1, they're like pineapple on pizza. Some people swear by that, or other things is a war crime. But here's the truth, it's a high risk, high reward strategy. You're basically flying a tank with wings. If you know how to use it, you can wipe an entire point and swing a match in just seconds. But if you're careless, you're just feeding enemy pilots free kills and giving your team one less asset. So before you hop in and spam carpet bombs like it's a Michael Bay movie, learn the map. Learn where enemies bunch up and where anti-air nests are. And please communicate with your gunners. A good gunner can be the difference between a 20 kill streak and a flaming nosedive into the dirt. Okay, let's clear something up. Not everyone's using an aimbot in Battlefield 1. Some players just really know their guns, like really know them. Every weapon has its quirks, whether it's recoil patterns, fire rates or even the distance at which it's most effective. But the secret isn't memorizing the stats, it's feeling the weapon in your hands. It's knowing that the M1911 might not be as flashy as the 1917 revolver, but damn it, you can make those shots count when you know the range, the recoil and the timing. So instead of assuming the guy you just raked by is cheating, take a moment to think. Maybe it's just that they've mastered their weapon. So get out there, put in the hours and let that muscle memory kick in. You'll be the one getting the headshots next time. When you're flanking a point, don't just rush in and start shooting. It's all about patience, and sometimes the most important move is waiting before you engage. Here's the deal. When you're sneaking up behind enemies, you've got a golden opportunity to have your squad spawn on you. That's backup you need to make sure you don't get overwhelmed. You can't take on a whole squad by yourself. Well, you could, but it's much easier when you get your teammates covering your back. Take the extra moment, ping the spot and let your squad catch up. You'll be more effective, get better kills and even help your team win the points. Trust me, flanking is a way more rewarding when you're working with your squad. Alright, so here's a little secret. If you really want to improve your Battlefield 1 skills, stop grinding Conquest map for a second and switch it to Operations. Why? Well, Operations is where the real magic happens. It's a longer game mode and you get more chances to practice your skills. Conquest is great for getting the feel of the map, but Operations give you the time and space to own in your teamwork and tactics. In Conquest, you might get a few flanks in here and there, but Operations, you're fighting for bigger objectives, so your map knowledge, flanking and squad coordination all get tested. Plus, there's less room for solo play, so you'll really start to rely on your teammates, which is actually the key to mastering this game. Let's talk sniping for a second. Battlefield 1 isn't like other games where you just pick up any sniper and start headshotting. You need to know where the sweet spots are for every gun. The sweet spot is the ideal range where the bullet damage is maximized and you're landing those clean shots without much drop off. Take the Martini Henry for example. It has a sweet spot of 40 meters, meaning if you're within that range and land a shot to the upper torso or head, you get that satisfying one-shot kill. But not all snipers are the same. Rifles like the Gewehr 98 or the SMLE have their own sweet spots, and if you're outside that range, you'll notice that your shots don't hit as hard. The damage drops off and suddenly you're dealing with a 2-shot kill instead of a 1-shot wonder. So get to know your sniper's sweet spot. Aim for that ideal range and you'll be landing more kills within fewer misses. It'll save your ammo time and frustration. When you're starting out in Battlefield 1, it's easy to get attached to that one weapon you enjoy using the most. But before you settle into your comfort zone, here's a pro tip. Get at least a service star for each primary weapon before you pick your favorite. I get it, the M1907 sweeper feels amazing and maybe the Hellriegel is your go-to. But there's a reason every gun has its own unique feel. Some weapons are better for certain situations and others might surprise you in ways you never expected. By mastering multiple weapons, you'll have a much better understanding of what works for you in different scenarios. Each weapon has its own strengths, whether it's the range, rate of fire or recoil pattern. So give each one a fair shot and see how they work for you before you settle on your favorite. It's all about flexibility in Battlefield 1. Let's be honest, aiming is important. Nobody wants to miss every shot like a stormtrooper. Raw aim means nothing if you don't understand the map. Like you could win a 1v1, sure, but if you're pushing straight into the front lines with zero clue where the enemies are coming from, you'll just respawn screen content. The real power move? Knowing the flank routes, the hotspots and where people love to camp. Once you've got that down, you'll start catching enemies off guard left, right and center. And suddenly your good aim turns deadly. So yeah, practice your aim, but learn the map like it's your exam paper. That's how you pass with a distinction. Alright, the final tip. This one is a big one. Battlefield is not Call of Duty. Now don't get me wrong, both are great games. But the way you approach them is completely different. COD is all about fast-paced 1v1 firefights where you're consistently trying to stay alive and get those kills. But BF1 is all about teamwork and giving your squad that crucial momentum. It's about playing the objective, setting up strategies and supporting each other. In BF1, if you're out there thinking you're a lone wolf, you're going to get swarmed. The game's much more rewarding when you coordinate with your team, work together to push objective and give your squads the upper hand. Whether it's taking out tanks, capping flags or reviving your teammates, teamwork makes the dream work in Battlefield 1. So next time you spawn in, remember, it's not about individual glory, it's about winning as a team. Right, those are my 10 tips that took me hours and a lot of respawns to figure out in Battlefield 1. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button for more gaming content. I've got plenty more Battlefield videos coming your way, plus a ton of other games to check out. Got your own tips to share? Or maybe you disagree with me? Drop a comment below and let's get this conversation going. I always love hearing from you guys. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the battlefield. Keep those KD ratios up and always have your teammates back.